But it be runs. I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing fine. So yeah, getting to my attention today, I want to speak on why it's important to really just stay away from women. And I'm not saying this in a way to attack them, but I'm probably giving it out on a purpose where if you are not in a position to provide for yourself, and leave them alone. Because from my experience, every single lesson that you go through in life, you learn from something. The L is a lesson that you have to command within yourself. Because what you gotta understand is, if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again in your life, you're gonna keep on going through it until you pass the test. So in the present moment, you are left with two things. Am I gonna go over the same lesson again, or am I gonna pass the test? And until you come to the conclusion with those two answers, you're only gonna walk away with one answer. So in hindsight, it's just important that when I'm saying this to leave them alone, is that, like I said, I'm not saying it in a way to antagonize or push an agenda. No, I'm saying it in a way of you giving yourself the benefit of the doubt for you to not go through certain situations where you find yourself in because you can't provide for yourself. You lack the resources, you don't have your own space, and certain things that have to go along those lines. Because when you have the accolades, the skills, the instinct, the knowledge, the wisdom as a man too, not saying you should provide, but if you come to a conclusion within yourself to know that, okay, cool, I've got my own space, I can provide for this woman, I can do certain things, that I acquire, that I can attain within my means, then yes, go ahead. So what you understand is, when you're in these situations as well, a woman is not going to make it known about situations until she's made up her mind mentally. And when she's made up her mind mentally, when she's had enough, she'll bring up every single thing that you're lacking. She'll bring up every single weakness that you have, as much as the strengths that you have. But she'll make it known for every single weakness you've got. And when she brings all of that up, that's when she's already mentally checked out in terms of you. In terms of you being present. So on the contrary, it is really important to acknowledge little things, not for her, but just in general within yourself, and things you need to work on. So let this not be a thing where within yourself as a guy that you should downplay yourself, you should hate yourself, or you have that self reflection to instill this thing in your mind where you're not enough, or you're not worthy of having someone in your life. Yes, you are enough. Yes, you're worthy within yourself. Then when that comes after, that will equal someone else being in your life. And on the contrary, it's just important because a lot of guys beat themselves up because they're not going to get loved. They're not getting loved by someone that they want. Yes, because God is giving you lessons and he's showing you things where you'll get a taste, you'll get a glimpse of that person you want in your life. And you start to learn these lessons through, getting to know different types of women and just having different experiences with them. and you learn a lot of things about them, because how we think and how they think is two completely different things. You know, them are emotional. We could be emotional, but when it comes to situations, we have to be rational about the situation, no matter how much your feelings get into play or your thoughts get into play. So it's just important that you have to bear in mind that, you know, if God is showing you a way that that person that you're meant to be with, or you're pursuing, and you look at your situation, just remember, take that time to reflect and just keep on working on what you have to do, and leave them to what they've got going on, because you don't want it to get to a point in your life where you let things take over on your mind, your feelings, your thoughts, to the point where you prioritize that person over you. You can't do that. You have to prioritize your purpose. You have to prioritize what you're doing, because with me, I've always prioritized other things that are more important than me, other women that are more important than me. And the more you put them on a pedestal, the more you start to doubt yourself, the more you don't value yourself within your means. And that's doing yourself a disservice. You have to go out there and you have to just go and get it for yourself, because look, these women are not going to save you. No one else is going to save you. God ain't going to save you. Jesus ain't going to save you. You know, they'll help you, but they're not going to absolutely 100% save you. You can absolutely 100% save yourself. So you have to understand that in hindsight, that in your mind, you know, when you're young, you get a feeling to boost your ego, your pride's going up the roof, and you say, oh yo, I got girls here, I got girls here, You know, I've been in that position where, yeah, I feel like I'm the man, but like I said, when you get older, to a certain age, you start to mature, you start to be more precise in your way of thinking, your trail of thought changes, and how you see a lot of things. And the same thing always happens and happens again, because you're repeating a cycle of something that is, you know, downgrading your life. It's not keeping you up to scale on where you want to go in life. People in your life, just all sorts of different things. But yeah, I don't want to, you know, get out. The point I'm saying is just be within your means, have your own resources, then, you know, also pick a woman that picks you, and don't also go out your way of just chasing or pursuing all the time, because you need time for yourself. But yeah, I hope